Good evening. See, we have everybody here at accounting for. 1, 2.
Recording in progress.
Got it. All right. The board is ready. I'll call the meeting to order. Very good. We've concluded our closed session for the meeting. We're now in open session. I'm calling the meeting to order. May we have the flag, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please. We have the roll call, please.
Board Member Joseph?
I'm here.
Board Member Oro?
Here.
Board Member Washington?
Here.
Vice Chair Abu Damos?
Here.
And Chairman Garcia?
Here. Thank you. Now I have report on closed session, confirmation of any reportable action. Mr. Ross?
I'll do a written report consistent with the provisions of Government Code Section 54957.1 with respect to items 1, 2, and 3. That would conclude the report upon return from closed session unless there are questions.
Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, we'll move on in our agenda for the evening. Great pleasure this evening. We have a certificate of appreciation for Fire Captain Ron Pettibon. Chief, any comments you'd like to make? I can read it as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Garcia. It's this is a kind of an extended process with Captain Pettibon. We actually gave him his 15-year pin on the date of his anniversary, but felt like the board needed to be a more active participant in that process. So we brought Ron here this evening. There he is in the comfort of his home. At least he's not in Hawaii like Captain Medina was the last time we did this. But anyway, maybe he'd rather be in Hawaii, Ron. I'm not sure. Anyway, so this evening we're celebrating accomplishment of the Captain Pettibon's career here with American Canyon. Just a little bit about Ron. He was born and raised in Vallejo, just south of us. Comes from a family of 5. He has 2 sisters, and I guess I'll surmise that he has 3 brothers, or two brothers besides himself. So married for 21 years. His wife Kathy, and they have 2 children, Tyler and Sierra, and a special dog by the name of Chase, who's actually there in the back of the picture. Very cool. Ron started with the district in 2006. Before that, he worked for Medic Ambulance in Solano County and was then a paramedic firefighter for the city of Rio Vista from 1999 to 2003. He left Medic Ambulance to work for Presidio Fire Department in 2001 and was with them for 5 years before he came to us here at American Canyon. He's a very important part of our department, one of 6 captains, very active in our rescue team, brings a lot of stability to the department with his time in service and his experience. And we're really fortunate to have Ron be a part of American Canyon. We look forward to him to putting in another 15 years, Ron. But anyway, congratulations, Ron, and I'll turn it back over to Chairman Garcia for his presentation.
Well, we'd like to thank you for your service. I appreciate 15 years. Bravo. You know, it's just great to have you on board. You mean an awful lot to us with your experience and certainly in the operations from day to day. it's a career path. It's not an 8 to 5 job. It's a 24/7, 365. Depends on what you need. And I know this probably has some stress and family as well. But you look like you're well supported. I see your wife and daughter back there behind you, and our furry friend. We'd like to take a moment to thank them for being part of our celebration this evening as well. Usually when we have this in person, we have an opportunity to have a meet in the council chambers at City Hall, but Zoom will have to do for now. We would thank you again for. We look forward to your being continuing to be involved in American Canyon, being a role. We have Jose Martin here, please. Could you mute yourself?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jose Martin, could you mute yourself? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your leadership role that you have assumed in it with it, and that means a lot to your coworkers, all the other firefighters in the service, and the community at large. I think maybe in many ways you're an inspiration to many young people who may be thinking about a career path such as yours. So very good, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments you'd like to make?
I want to take the opportunity first for the former fire chiefs, Chief Caldwell and Chief Weeks, for actually giving me the opportunity to serve the community of American Canyon, and our two current chiefs, Chief Cahill and Chief Bellier, for giving me the support to do the job that I can do. And also my coworkers. It's one big team. I'm just a small piece of the team. I couldn't do what I do without them. Martha and Laura, they're strong. They do strong work in our department, and we wouldn't be where we are without them. So thanks for the support, Martha and Laura. And then obviously, like you said, Mayor Garcia, my family, I couldn't do without the support of being gone long hours, long days, missing birthdays, sporting events, and so forth. And I appreciate the understanding that they have and support me in the job I do. And 15 more years, I don't know about that, but we can negotiate that, Chief. But I appreciate it. And also, last but not least, the board for supporting our organization and allowing us to protect the community and visitors to American Canyon. So appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your service. And I know just looking at your family in the background, it's often the unheralded group and who supports all our firefighters out there, but it has to come with family support. And you're very fortunate to have that from your family. So we appreciate what you do, and we look forward to more years and more things to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We'll move on now to proclamation recognizing month of February 2022 as American Canyon Health Awareness Month. Let me bring that up. One moment. There we have it. Usually read these on City Council. If anybody wants to step forward and read this one, it's fine with me too. If not, American Canyon Fire Protection District Proclamation, proclaiming the month of February 2022 in the American Canyon Fire Protection District as American Heart Month. Whereas the month of February has been proclaimed as American Heart Month, whereas over 400,000 Americans die from heart disease each year, more than breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, and AIDS combined. Now, whereas over 90% of those suffering sudden heart attack arrests die before they reach the hospital. And whereas the chances of survival are increased dramatically if cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, and automated external defibrillation, AED, resources are available and utilized when the first 3 to 7 minutes of sudden cardiac arrest. And whereas the goal of American Heart Month is to raise awareness of heart disease and prevention, treatment, and whereas it is appropriate to increase awareness of how to prevent cardiovascular disease, and the appropriate intervention should an individual suffer from cardiovascular disease. And whereas knowing our numbers, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, weight, staying active, eating healthy are all important parts of maintaining a healthy cardiovascular system and preventing sudden cardiac arrest. And whereas it is appropriate to increase awareness of the value of CPR training and encourage placement of AEDs in public schools. And whereas the American Heart Association and the American Canyon Fire Protection District advocate chain of survival, which represents crucial links of emergency treatment and sudden cardiac arrest. The links are early activation of emergency response, 911, early CPR, early defibrillation, advanced resuscitation, post-cardiac arrest care, recovery. Whereas American Canyon Fire Protection District continues to work where our citizens live, work, shop, and play heart safe. Now therefore be resolved that I, Leon Garcia, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the American Canyon Fire Protection District, hereby proclaim the month of February 2022 as American Heart Month. The American Canyon Fire Protection District encourage all residents to learn the risks of cardiovascular disease, to know their numbers, and to stay fit through exercise, good nutrition, to know the signs of stroke, heart attack, and sudden cardiac arrest, to learn critical life-saving skills such as CPR and AED use, to call 911, to act in times of when a cardiovascular emergency occurs. Very good. Happy to present this today. So, one moment, please. I'll get back in. There we are. Okay. Moving on in our agenda, then. We have now time for public comment. Do we have anybody wanting to come in on public items not on the agenda?
We did not receive any public comment.
Yeah, hand raised for Justin Hamilton.
Justin has his hand raised.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me come in. The last time I tried come in and then nobody can let me come in.
Oh.
So I want to say thank you to C. Claire doing that today. It's so nice. And I'm very good, Mayor. I always eat my moods the whole time. So I want to say thank you, our fire department. Take care, fire season, and thank you, Fire Chief.
Very good. Well, thank you, Justin. Good to see you again. Okay. Any other public comment received?
No.
And I will close public comment at this time. We'll move on to our agenda. Are there any agenda changes, directors? If not, I'll accept a motion for the consent calendar.
I'll move. I'll move the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Board Member Joseph,
Yes.
Board Member Oro,
Yes.
Board Member Washington,
Yes.
Vice Chair Abudamos,
Yes.
Chairman Garcia.
Yes. Thank you, directors. Moving on to our agenda, there are no public hearings this evening, no business items. We'll move on now to the fire chief report.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Garcia and board. A couple things that both Chief Bailey and I'd like to share with you this evening. Just updates on current statuses of a couple of projects that we're working on in the district. The first one is the master plan that you approved the contract last month is we're actively involved in starting that process, and I'm going to ask Chief Bailey to kind of give you a quick update on where you are with that process and give you a little bit of an insight into what we're doing.
Thank you, Chief. Chair Garcia, members of the board, good evening again.
Good evening.
So January 13th, we conducted our initial kickoff meeting with AP Triton. Since then, there's quite a bit of information and data that are required for us to provide to AP as they start the beginning of their master plan. So we started as soon as the meeting was over, starting working through their various data tables and other items that they've asked for us to help help them get the true global picture of American Canyon Fire Protection District, both historical call volume, staffing, capital assets, a lot of GIS information, information from the dispatch center, CAD data. So we're wading through all of that. It's a pretty large lift for us initially, but all four of us are actively engaged in that, and we hope to have our portion of the information completed and submitted to AP in the next couple of weeks. Once that information is fully completed, they will start going through that, start developing their agenda for their on-site meetings, community stakeholders is part of their process. And then once all that is complete, they'll start to finalize their first draft, present it to us, and then obviously to their final draft. So exciting process, pretty hard initial lift for us here, but we're all excited about the end product and how that will help give the district a very good roadmap for the next 10, 15 years of growth within the district. That's the end of my report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, thank you for your report. Any questions from directors? Say we're making progress on it. Thank you, Chief. Okay.
So, yeah, thank you. The next item I'd like to discuss is, excuse me, we have the year budget coming up next month. We'll be meeting with the Finance Committee of the board, Martha and Ken Campo and I, and Chief Bellier will be meeting with you, and we're looking forward to that. Get a better sense of where we're at and be able to move towards building our budget for 22-23. So anyway, that's coming. And then the other item, we discussed last month a little bit about where we're at with facilities and equipment. And Chief Bellier and I have been wrestling with an issue that we have with regards to our fire apparatus, and specifically the engine that's at Station 2, which is not as dependable as we would like it to be. And we're looking seriously at having to replace that engine sooner than we had thought we were going to have to because of its unreliability. And so we're going to be coming to the board with some additional information with respect to that. I have reached out with Ken Campo to talk to folks who do financing to get an idea of what is available to us in terms of funding for purchases. As I said at the last meeting, fire engines today are significantly more expensive than what we had budgeted for in our replacement program. They're up in above $600,000 for a Type 1 engine, which essentially is the engines we use every day. And then a ladder truck to replace the 75-foot ladder that we have eventually would cost us somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 to $1.6 million to replace that. So we're looking at all that, trying to be as responsible as possible in as we propose those kinds of purchases to the board and to the community. So I just wanted to share that again with you, that'll be coming down the pike. We'll be talking more about that in the next few months as we work towards our fiscal year 22-23 budget.
Well, thank you. With the fire truck that's causing problems, is that still under warranty? Is there anything that can be done there?
Yes, sir.
No.
No.
How old is it?
Jeff, how old is 211? It's 8 years old.
I want to say about 8 years old. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's well out of warranty. So
Yeah.
we don't have that option anymore.
Very good. Thanks for checking into that. Any question from directors? Okay. Anything further, Chief Cahill?
That's all I have for this evening, Chairman.
Okay. Move on to chair board comments, committee reports, future agenda items. Anything from the board?
Chair, I have a question, and I don't know if if the fire district's the right place or somewhere else. There's some discussion about a countywide initiative relating to a sales tax that would be relating to wildfire. And my question is, ignoring whether or not it's actually going to be put on the ballot or whatever, but Chief Cahill, have you been involved in any of those discussions? Would American Canyon be any kind of a benefactor of something like that, considering most of the wildfires have been north of us?
Yes, I have been involved. I have been at the table recently with regards to that proposal. There is some concern on the part of the fire service in the county that the proposal that we weren't early, at the table earlier and had a little bit more influence on what was being put in the package. Actually, Chief Bellier, when in his current or his previous position, was the author or certainly the architect of the basic program that is being proposed, but it's certainly morphed into something much more robust over the course of the last month or two. We're working, the county fire chiefs are working with the city managers and the mayors across the county to try to regroup and to provide some input into the county's proposal at this point in time. American Canyon, the current program that was put together by Chief Bellier does have some work that will happen in American Canyon in the eastern hills above the Newell Open Space District. But this project that the county's presenting and is talking about putting on the ballot as a sales tax initiative is significantly larger, and there isn't as much, how do I put this? American Canyon isn't going to see as much of it as we had hoped in terms of the financing and the funding available to us.
Okay, well, that's, if they're trying to put it on the June primary, the deadline is like, within days or something. So maybe this is a November issue, or does anybody know?
No, they're trying to put it on. They're fast tracking this at the county. It's our understanding that it will be on the board's agenda, the first meeting in February, and then again the first meeting in March to move it ahead. So it'll be on the June election primary.
Well, definitely we should agendize this for, our next meeting,
Yeah.
depending on the progress they're making with it.
Yeah, and again, I'm guessing the fire district is as good as the council is, but it would be nice to know what the basic structure of this deal is, because it's being fast tracked, and usually tax increases you don't want to fast track because that's a good way to get it voted down. But
No, you need to get the voters on base with it. No, I'm saying it'd be, clearly the city will be doing it. We will doing it as our role as city council, but we are distinct separate entities, so it needs to come here to the fire district board as well.
Yeah, if I could add, it's this is a sales tax initiative. The sales tax will be generated in the city or by the city, and the money as proposed will come back to the city, not to the fire district. So
right.
we'll have to talk about that in terms of the implementation of it locally with respect to what, what's a benefit to both those, I mean.
That's the conversation we need to have.
Yeah, frankly, the fire district is the city's fire department. And so, whatever we do is going to come out in that wash. So.
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Anything else? I did have a question on, not speed bumps, but speed cushions. I've heard something about that recently as a way of traffic calming. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. So I guess I'm making a name for myself in the
Yes, you are.
because I've agreed to the fact that a speed cushion, it would be something that the fire department would consider, and we're going to look at. We're talking about installing one on Wetlands Edge to see if that's something we can live with. Speed cushions allow the fire engines to drive through them. They're rubber square boxes about 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches high that sit in the street, and the cars will have to go over the top of them, but fire engines can straddle them. And it's been my experience in the past is that they do not slow our response as significantly as other traffic calming devices like speed bumps or traffic tables or those types of engineered options.
Well, definitely an experiment to try. I think Wetlands Edge seems to be a place for trying out our traffic calming engineering. So
Yes.
I look forward to something further on that, because I know we all do get a continuous stream of complaints about people who are speeding. Actually, meeting the other evening that chaired by Director Joseph, they had this representative from Napa slow down, talking about trying to address people speeding. Same problem in American Canyon. But I want to make sure that, if we're moving forward with something, it's acceptable to the fire department, fire district, in terms of the vehicles and response time. All right. Anything further? Well, if not, then we have concluded our business for the evening. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, another good meeting, Chief.
Yeah. Always.
Thank you, Mark.